Boys and girls, welcome to 31 Days of Hell 2, episode 9. Hope you enjoy this episode, hope you have enjoyed, hope you will enjoy this episode. So I'm going to be getting straight into it. This episode is going to be about 7 celebrities who are rumoured to be alive. Okay. As usual, sources will be in the description down below. Okay, so the first one here is Jim Morrison. So there's been a lot of mystery surrounding his death. He died back in 1971 at just 21 years old in a bathtub in Paris. The strange thing is that no autopsy was ever done on his body, which is very unusual. Very, very unusual. His girlfriend at the time, Pamela Courson, believed that it was a heroin overdose that took his life. So the main reason for this theory is that there are a lot of strange circumstances around his death, and nobody ever saw his body. So the next one is Michael Jackson. It's said that, obviously, Michael Jackson, we all know he was the king of pop. Also a nonce, but the king of pop. If you've not seen Leaving Neverland, I suggest you see it, so you know why I'm calling him a paedophile, because he was. Okay, so don't come for me in the comments, because it's facts. Okay, moving on. So, we know he died in 2009. His doctor gave him too much medication, I think, is what many people are saying. And he died. But it's on TMZ in August of 2009. There was a van, I think it's, what's this word? Coroner's van, whatever. And basically it said that someone that resembles Michael Jackson jumped out of the same van that his dead body was supposed to be in. Andy Kaufman, okay. So he had a reputation in general for being very unpredictable, just in general doing a lot of hoaxes. That was the kind of behaviour of Kaufman. So in 1984, on the month of January, he publicly announced that he had lung cancer. But of course nobody believed him, because it's kind of like the boy who cried wolf. You know, if you keep saying the same thing and it ends up being a false alarm, you get to a point where no one believes you anymore. Okay, so because he was known as a prankster and because he was unpredictable, a lot of people believe that he faked his own death. The theory is behind this that celebrities that are said to have faked their own deaths are now either working for the government or living in hiding. Those are the two possible scenarios that are most probable and most logical for if these theorized celebrities did in fact fake their own death. Next one is Kurt Cobain. We all know that Kurt Cobain, I think it was said by Courtney Love, his girlfriend at the time, that that basically he died of a drug overdose. But it is also said that by many people think that Courtney Love was actually the one that killed him because he was planning on leaving her. So there's a few conspiracies surrounding his death. Okay. But there are a lot of people out there who actually think that he never died and that he faked his own death to, get out of the music business and to get away from love. Okay, so the next one is Princess Diana. Very tragic death. Just fantastic woman. But move on. In 1997, she got into a car. She was on the way to Paris and her head got trapped under the seat. And this happened under a tunnel. When you go back and look at the CCTV, I think there is something dodgy about the CCTV, or there wasn't enough CCTV or something. And what I've heard, I don't know if this is entirely factual, because even if you look at the most reputable sources of information like the Daily Mail or the Sun, people have said the paparazzi were in the way and that the emergency services acted too slowly, and this is what caused her death. I don't particularly understand how from someone's head being trapped under a car seat this could cause death, but I think it was a case of maybe there was a lack of oxygen going to her brain because of how her head was trapped under the seat. Maybe this is a probable cause for her death, and the slowness of the emergency services, how slow they responded. So there is that. But I think most likely it was that, let's just say, a particular prominent family in the United Kingdom did not like the fact that she was in love with a Muslim and she wanted to marry him. So something had to be done about it. But let me not say any more on that, because I don't want to end up going missing. Okay. So the next one is Tupac Shakur. We all know who he is. If you don't, what are you doing with your life? Okay. And if you think you don't know him, you've probably heard one of his songs. Just Google him. He's been dead for over 20 years, but there are people out there who very, very strongly are convinced that he is still alive. Okay. The people who actually shot him in a drive-by shooting have never been found. And it's said that Suge Knight, I hope I'm saying that name right, who was actually in the car with Tupac that night, thinks that his friend Tupac is still alive. And said to TMZ or TMZ, why do you think nobody's been arrested if they said the one that killed Tupac? That's what his friend said to TMZ, because Tupac is not dead. If he was dead, they'd be arresting those dudes for murder. You know, he's somewhere smoking a Cuban cigar on an island. That's what his close friend said. And to conclude this, the last one is to do with the last one relates to Elvis Presley. And as we know, Elvis Presley died back in 1977 because of a medication overdose. However, many of his devout fans, many of his diehard fans don't actually believe, and they're not entirely convinced that he is completely or at all dead. I don't know how he can be partially dead, so I don't know why I said completely, but anyway. Basically, the theory behind this is that his casket looked a bit too polished, it looked a bit too perfect, and it looked like it may have been a wax figure or a wax dummy. Also, his middle name is misspelled on his gravestone. That's another reason that leads people to believe he's still alive. This is probably the most common one, that people think Elvis is still alive. And also, an insurance policy he took out was never cashed. It was never cashed out. And many people have allegedly seen him. There's been many sightings of Mr. Presley. Okay, guys, so this was just a very interesting, entertaining, hellish episode of 31 Days of Hell. Oh, we have many more days to go. 22 days to be exact. Okay, as it is the 8th of October when I'm recording this. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully it gave all of you something to think about. I hope you like this. Stick around. I'm going to be doing this for every single day of October because it's fun. Why not? And it's going to get creepier and creepier as we go through October. With that being said, this was 31 Days of Hell 2, episode 9. And as I always say at this point, happy spooky season.